Wow, what an opening night for the NFL season. The Eagles edged the Cowboys 24-20 in a game that had everything from big plays, controversy, especially at the beginning, a weather delay, and yes, CeeDee Lamb dropping the football. But let's break it down because both teams sent a message in week one, and it was not a message we were expecting. First off, the Cowboys. Honestly, they looked pretty good for long stretches of this game. With new head coach Brian Schottenheimer, he had the offense clicking in that first half especially. Dak looked sharp. Javonte Williams came in with a couple of touchdowns, and they looked pretty balanced. CD was making catches on offense. They didn't quite get George Pickens going, but there's certainly time for him to settle into this offense. So, yeah, it was definitely unexpected. And on defense, they were pretty impressive, but that was more in the second half. They held Barkley to negative yardage in that second half after halftime. Unbelievable considering how important he is for the Eagles offense. It definitely shook things up. And hey, no Micah Parsons, no problem. That is not an easy thing to do against that back line, against that offensive line. And they really showed discipline as well. I think that was another surprise from this game. The Cowboys really did minimize mistakes. Only 4 penalties on the night compared to Philly's 9. So was it the same old Cowboys? Absolutely not. And yeah, credit goes to that coaching staff. And obviously it's early days in the season with no Micah Parsons, but they definitely looked like they were able to stop the run last night. Yes, they weren't able to stop Jalen Hurts, and we'll get onto that in a minute, but I think the biggest elephant in the room really for the Cowboys was CeeDee Lamb making those drops in critical moments, especially the two that came in that final drive when Dallas had a real chance to steal this game. You know, if Lamb makes those catches, even just one of them, we could be talking about a different result for the Cowboys right now. And to his credit, he did own up to it, didn't he, at the end of the game? He owned up to it in his press release, and he just said that he needs to catch that damn ball. And I think a lot of Cowboys fans are going to agree with that. It's a brutal way to start the season, but I think, like I say, a lot of Cowboy fans will be feeling positive, especially away from home as well. As for the Eagles, well, they were sloppy, especially on offense. They really struggled to get A.J. Brown going. He was practically invisible until the final 2 minutes where he caught one catch for 8 yards. You know, we've had this before with A.J. Brown, haven't we, where the Eagles have struggled to get him going, get him into games, and obviously he stinks of a fuss on the sideline. You don't want that in a team that's going for the championship, but they managed to overcome it, didn't they, last year? So I think that's another thing with the Eagles. They always find a way to win, and with people like Saquon Barkley, and obviously Goddard and Jahan Dotson, Devontae Smith, they've got lots of ways to win this game. And yeah, credit goes to the ownership and the guys that are in recruitment, Harry Roseman. They've just built a really good side. And so if they can't get A.J. Brown going, no problem. They find other ways to win. Saquon Barkley got going early on in the first half. He got himself a touchdown. And when the Cowboys balled him up after the break and they shut him down, which was really surprising, as I said earlier, Philly found a way to win through Hurts running the ball into the end zone. So, yes, it's concerning that they weren't able to run all over the Cowboys with Saquon Barkley. They're supposed to be one of the worst run defenses in the league. But they find ways to win, right? And I think the main unsung hero from this game was actually Zach Bourne. He saved the game. When he chased down Miles Sanders, running over 20 miles an hour, rapid for a lineman, he stopped a certain touchdown, didn't he? And on the very next play, Philly were able to recover a fumble. So Zach Bourne's going to get the game ball, I think, for his clutch defending. And of course, Jalen Hurts, like I say, threw it 23 times, completed 19 passes, but he ran 2 touchdowns in. And I just think when the game was on the line, he delivered. So fair play to Jalen Hurts and the gang, sealing the win. And I suppose big picture thinking, this game wasn't really about the Eagles. We know they can be sloppy, especially in the regular season as they get their team going. Last year proved that they can overcome all kinds of issues with A.J. Brown, like I say, on the sideline, stinking up a fuss. The real story from last night was the Cowboys. I think everyone was expecting this game to be a blowout. It didn't happen. And if, like I say, CeeDee Lamb didn't make those catches, this could have been a different result altogether. Neither of these teams had meaningful preseason snaps. It's really difficult to assess teams from this one game. But I think a lot of people are going to be saying good things about the Cowboys. And the Eagles are going to be happy that they scraped through a tough divisional game. So, all in all, it was pretty decent. The one thing we haven't talked about is Jalen Carter. I don't want to give this too much focus. We knew coming into his NFL career that he has issues with aggression and attitude. And yeah, Dak Prescott got the better of him. So yeah, we don't need to overanalyze it. He could have cost his team the win last night, but he didn't. He's probably going to get fined, and they'll deal with that in-house. But the last thing you want to do is minimize Jalen Carter's juice, right? He's an absolute stud. So yeah, that's on him. He needs to figure that stuff out. I don't think it'll happen again. And yeah, perhaps it's the Eagles' way of proving that they can win ugly without some of their star names as well. So yeah, drop your thoughts in the comments. It'd be great to hear what you think of that first game between the Cowboys and the Eagles. I'll be doing this all season long, breaking down some of the biggest games and sparking some debate, hopefully, in the comments. So yeah, just getting started. Thanks so much for watching. Do hit subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content, and I'll catch you on the next one.